Well, Dave, what's the overwhelming emotion at the end of that game? Is it a sense of relief that you've got something out of it with 10 men?
Yeah, relief, not overly relief, delighted with a point. I think they were better than us today, individually, collectively. They're a good side, the way they go about things.
Better with 11 and 10?
Yeah, absolutely. In terms of control, and that was a team that, or a club, if you like, that got in the playoffs last year, and have added well, kept the core of it together, and they're a good footballing team. And we didn't get to grips with it as we would have liked. Weren't overly in the game, even though we had big opportunities in certain moments. But the big positive is the fact that we've got a point from somewhere, and we've shown a lot of, I suppose, a bit of resilience with 10 men to keep going and get ourselves a point which didn't look likely.
I've got to ask you about the red card. There's been 3 in 6 games now at the start of this season. We've talked before and you've said you don't think there's a problem with discipline, but another red card might suggest the opposite. What's your feeling about it at the moment?
It's tough. It's a tough card. Listen, I'm not going to sit here and back people based on what I've just seen. Ash's red card in 2 yellows. You can be critical and say, well, if you've been booked, you can't go into a tackle. If he pulls out the tackle and they go on to score, I'd probably say, why didn't you go in for that tackle? So that's a tough one. Macca's, there can be some sympathy, if you like. He's pushed the lad in the chest. He's been sent off for elbowing the lad in the face. That's not happened. So although I can say, well, you've given an official an opportunity to make a decision, and we've seen that officials make bad decisions, as we all do, you've given him a chance. Today ones, I'm not going to condone that. I'm not going to look stupid and say, well, yeah, Paddy's let everyone down. And he knows that, and he's honest enough person. I
think he's apologised to the lads.
Yeah, and there's no, well, there is an issue if you learn from it, and that's the big thing. And from a club perspective, we all need to look at things, and nobody wants to fine people but there needs to be consequences. Like I say, I can look back pretty squarely and say that over 400 plus league games, I had one sending off for a handball on the halfway line at Plymouth, which got rescinded. That was it. So there's a line, and if you want to play close to that line, fine. If you step beyond that line and get away with it, almost a little bit acceptable. If you don't, then there's an issue. And what we can't do is we can't win games with 10 men. Or it's a lot more difficult to do that. And as you say, 50% of the games we've ended up with 10 men gives us a mountain to climb. It's cost us in previous games. Thankfully today it hasn't, but that still doesn't make it acceptable.
And you were rescued today by Antoni Sarcevic again. I mean, I think he got 4 goals in the whole of last season, 3 already in the current campaign. Is it something that he's worked on? Is it something you've worked on with him to get more goals, to contribute more in that final third?
He should get more goals with the quality he has. I said to him before the game, it gets a goal today and it's 1 in 2 for him, which is a centre-forward record. So to do that as a midfielder, and he's got licence to go forward, is brilliant. He's got to, like I say, he's got to continue that. He's got 1 worldie and 2 scruffy ones from I suppose from his perspective, but he should be getting double figures every year, and he's on the way to doing that, and hopefully he's a big one for us, and he needs to be a talisman without it be affecting him as a person. He's not the leader type. He's got high standards, but can become easily frustrated. But we have to get the best out of him, because we get the best out of him. I look at what we had in midfield today, and they were very good, don't get me wrong. But if we have Sarcevic, Camps, Collar, Crossdale, Akeel to come back into that, Connor Evans, we've real good players. We're just not showing enough at the moment in certain areas. But that'll come. But we have to work at it. We've got to believe it'll come, but we have to work at it. And that work will start, as I say, we'll start on Monday.
Great to see Will Collar back, and I think Akeel's not too far behind him either, is he, in terms of...
Yeah, good for Will, 45 minutes. Listen, that was because of the way we wanted to go about the game and we wanted to press, that was always going to be tough in the first 45 minutes. So I thought Will probably had another 10 minutes in him, but with the way substitutes work now and the luxury of being able to do things in half time, not counting as a break, it made sense to do that there and then. No issue with him. He's got another recovered, and we'll see we'll make a decision what we do for Tuesday. Hopefully we'll see Akil on Tuesday, which again will be another one to add, another big positive. Looking forward to seeing him. Been brilliant in the brief spells we've seen him in training, and I want to see that in the flesh, if you like, in terms of a live game. So hopefully he'll be back at it, and it'll be first minutes in his legs in a Stockport shirt.
Sadly, we're not going to see Paddy, and he'll miss obviously Wimbledon and Tranmere away as well. Does that accelerate or change your thoughts around the transfer window? Are we expecting to see any activity before Thursday?
No, not really. It doesn't accelerate our thoughts. In terms of that area of the pitch, we have plenty of options. Whether things happen between now and then, again, things change with the transfer window in a heartbeat. So there'll be games and things that have happened today, as we've had with the sending off. There'll be injuries that all of a sudden people will then change their minds around what they bring in. There'll be people not win a game. There'll be people who sell players, and there's a domino effect beyond that. We're being proactive in terms of what we're looking for. But if what we're looking for isn't available and isn't going to improve us, then we're not just going to do things for the sake of doing things. I suppose it's never say never. There could be some movement, but as things stand at the moment, there's nothing absolutely imminent that's going to happen Monday or certainly Tuesday. But as it works, that could change. Okay.
In terms of Tuesday, where does the Papa John's Trophy, the Football League Trophy, where does that sit in your list of priorities? I mean, it's a competition county. I'm old enough to remember the last time we were in the final nearly 30 years ago against Port Vale. It's a repeat of that final. So it's a competition we've taken very seriously in the past. So where do you prioritise that?
I'd much rather win next Saturday than Tuesday.
Right.
But we're all greedy, and I'd much rather win Tuesday and then win Saturday. But with that comes opportunities for players. As I say, it's an opportunity for us to get minutes into people that haven't had those minutes. But we're still trying to get, I suppose, a bit of continuity, a sort of a level in terms of team selection and what we're doing, how we go about it, and there are, without shadow, opportunities and places up for grabs, and people have the chance to go and try and grab them on Tuesday. So it's an important game, prize money wise, pretty lucrative in terms of what that brings, which is massively important regardless of what people think. Big chance, as you say, to get to Wembley against teams of a similar level to ourselves. So we'll be going there looking to win. But it obviously isn't as important as what the league programme is. But by the by, we'll be going and we'll be sending a strong team on Tuesday to go to Port Vale and put in a performance and improve on what we've done today and try and win the game.
In terms of the league campaign, I know you said the other week not to panic, but you mentioned the word continuity there, and I guess the red cards and the fact you had to change tactically today, didn't you, midway through the first half? You can't get that continuity at the moment.
No, not at the moment, but listen, that's not an excuse. Potentially over the first month of the season, there would have been different chances for players because of the different competitions. I would love to be stood in front of you now and having named the same starting lineup since the first game of the season, because if that had been the case, it suggested we've had no injuries, we've had no sendings off, everyone's been absolutely flying, and we'd have lots of points on the board. That's not been the case. So with that becomes opportunity for players to go and say, I want that shirt and I'm going to keep that shirt, and that's what they need to do. Day to day, yes, but ultimately out there on a Saturday, and we've really got to do everything we can to make sure that's the case and get that belief and a little bit of freedom back into how we've been playing. For some, I'd suggest it was probably been a little bit of a culture shock in terms of what's happened and what teams have done. You expect, or maybe people did expect, to carry momentum forward. You carry momentum forward by working and being better than we were last season, not just being or standing still. We've stood still, if you like, a little bit and not got the results we've all have wanted. Probably today's the first time over the course of the season that maybe we've got a little bit of luck and got something that we maybe didn't deserve. If you analyse the game, they played better than us, if you like. We probably had big chances, or the bigger chances in the game, and we managed to get ourselves a point with 10 men, which is the biggest pleasing part of today.
Thank you for talking to us. Cheers, Dave.
Cheers, thank you, John.